Okay, in this section right here, we're going to talk a little bit about the Apache web server and how to install the web server. Now, again, this content is designed for complete beginners, so if you're not a beginner, you will probably find yourself going to sleep in about the next 3 minutes.
Right.
Okay, so wake up, Adam. So knowing how you're an expert with working with web page development, etc., I figured I would be kind enough to do this.
Right.
Kristen, tell us what a web server is.
It's software that will give you information, send you information.
Well,
based on
Adam,
URL.
I'm sure you could probably spice that up a little bit for us.
Well, it's a piece of software that might sit on your desktop or wherever. That'll look okay. Not in the
that was
desktop,
even more
but
wrong than Kristen.
Yeah, okay.
But you were kidding,
He
right?
even told
piece
you
of
the
software.
answer before.
You winked. No, I didn't. I told you the answer before, and you just got it wrong. I didn't tell Adam.
That looks at.
Don't lie. You're so evil.
He's answering the question.
I'm trying to.
All right. So anyway, so web server is.
Yeah, it's a piece of software that looks and basically.
Okay, never mind, Logan.
No, I don't even know.
Go ahead.
Okay, web server monitors for incoming connections and like web page requests.
Okay.
And waits for someone with a web browser to try and connect to it. When it does, the web browser requests some page, and the web server sees, looks for that page, and if it exists, it sends it back to them so they can view it in their browser.
So basically,
it basically responds to HTTP requests or web page requests.
So to sum it up, basically it's a piece of software that's running on a computer that is monitoring for an incoming connection or something coming in from another computer on a particular port, if we wanted to get really technical.
Yep.
And it's basically when a computer asks for a web page to be delivered, it's asking a web server. Web server takes a look at what page is being requested, sees if it can deliver that page, and if it can, it delivers the page.
Exactly.
Close enough?
Yep.
Okay, so there are several different types of popular web servers out there that you can install on your computer. And what we're going to take a look at is how we can install the Apache web server. So the first thing we need to do is show you guys where you can find this at. So if you want to go out there and read a little bit more about it, you can. Does that sound good, Logan?
Yep.
So first thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and open up the Internet Explorer. That has been resized, so we will just resize it back down. And let's make it fit in our recording area here.
Whee!
That's a nice save. Now all right, we're going to go to www.apache.org, apache.org. So here we are at the Apache website, and to find the software that you're going to need to download, if you look over here on the left-hand side, you'll see Apache Products, and you'll see HTTP Server. So just go ahead and click on HTTP Server. This is what we want. And then from there, we'll go ahead and come down again on the left-hand side and look for Download. Once you find Download, you can download from a mirror or you can download from here. We'll just go ahead and click Download from here. All right, now we're getting into the files that we can actually download. Now, we're running Windows 2000 here, so we're going to be looking for the Win32 files to download. And there are two different ways, or two different file types that we can download. We can actually get the source files. Isn't that correct, Logan?
Yes, I believe it is open source.
And which means that we can actually get these, make modifications if we need to suit some type of feature that we may need implemented in our web server, and then recompile it, right?
Or that's actually used more on Linux-based or Unix-based systems, where when you configure something that's low level in it, you usually have to recompile it. You have a config file that gets built into the actual binaries, and that's why you would use the source.
Right. But see, right now, Adam's looking at us like we just shot him in the foot, so we're getting too complicated. We want to keep this beginner.
For those of you that don't know, I'm a complete beginner in this. So.
Yeah, he is. But we're just going to pretend like Adam's an expert the entire time.
I am a pro.
Okay. So as Adam just pointed out, what we want to do is we want to look for the pre-compiled binaries. Well, watch this. You are a pro. The binaries are what?
It's just a series of zeros and ones.
Series of zeros and ones or ones and zeros?
Yeah.
Low-level machine, already compiled, ready to talk straight to the machine?
Yeah.
Okay, you said so. So we'll go ahead and come in here to the pre-compiled binaries. And from there, what you need to do is go ahead and come down and look for the system that you're going to be installing it on, like Linux or IRIX, etc., OS2. But in our case, we're looking for Win32. So we'll go ahead and click on Win32. And the ones that we're interested in right now is going to be the Apache 1.3.24, Win32, x86, nosource.exe. Okay. Once you found the file that you want to download, go ahead and click it, and we're ready now to start downloading it to our system. But this is a 5 meg file, and we don't want to spend a couple of minutes just sitting around yakking while it's downloading.
Right.
So what I have done, we'll pretend I hit save and everything. I'll go ahead and close this out, and I will download it at the speed of a simple mouse drag. Ding, there it is. Okay, so I've already downloaded it.
That was fast.
I know,
What
isn't
kind
it?
of connection do you have?
Must be DSL.
I have the Buzz connection. So now, once you've downloaded the file, this is how easy it is. Just double-click it. Okay. So now it's starting the install shield, and it's pulling everything out and getting ready. And here she goes. So now here we are inside the Apache HTTP server installation wizard, and go through and just read next. And they give you a little bit of an agreement that you can go through and make sure everything in here is nice and cool. Read through it. And if the answer is no to any of these, of course, say I do not accept. But that means you're not going to be able to install the software, right?
Right.
I mean, it's not like you can tell them, no, I don't like your agreement. But let me install the software anyways.
Exactly.
Okay, so in this
Since we
case,
read it word for word.
since we of course, with a fine-tooth comb, that was your job, actually. We'll tell it to, I accept the term. Well, we're not going to do boring stuff like that around here. That's what you're for.
Yes.
I know. And you know that, too. That's the beautiful thing. So I accept the terms of the license, so we'll tell it yes, and go ahead and move over to next. And now, what is it? What is Apache? Blah, blah, blah. Just in case you were surfing the net and found some file and downloaded it and had no clue, it's nice enough now to tell you a little bit about it. And I'm just kidding. You can find a little bit about information about the latest version, documentation, some warnings in here in reference to installing on different OSs, problems, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. A bunch of information here. Feel free to read through it. We'll go ahead and go next. Now we're looking for a little bit of server information. First thing is going to be network domain, and what we'll do is we'll set this to localhost. The server name. What we're doing is we're setting this up just as a local web server running on our own machine, so that we can test stuff out in. Okay, that's all. Right, Logan?
Yeah.
Okay. So localhost. We'll go ahead and type localhost again. Now, but by doing this as localhost, am I setting myself up, Logan, to where other people can't get to my little web server?
Actually, no. If
Okay.
they have the IP address to your machine will then be running as a web server, so you can still get to it.
Absolutely. And if you want to hack my system, the IP address is, I'm just kidding. So localhost, administrator's email address. Let's just go ahead and throw in buzzbj@3dbuzz.com. And let's see, we're going to install Apache. Run as a service for all users, and we'll take a look at the service here shortly and talk a little bit about that. And that is recommended. Or run when started manually, only for me. Of course, Jason Busby is the account and logged in as. I can come in here and start it up and stop it only when I need it. But I'm going to leave it as recommended right now, which is just going to run as a service for all users. Let's go ahead and hit next. Now I have the option of going in here and doing a complete install, or doing a custom where I can select or deselect features that I do or do not want to install. But in this particular case right here, I'm going to go ahead and leave it on complete because, this is a beginner CD, and we don't want to start getting into things that are too complicated. So we'll go ahead
Yes,
now.
please don't.
Oh, you want me to do custom?
I said please don't.
Oh, okay. I'm just playing. So with complete checked, I'll go ahead and say next. And it's now asking, am I ready to install? This is my area. I'm going to go ahead and change the area from C program files, Apache group. For those of you guys out there that are following along with this, as long as you got enough space on C drive, go for it. This is the default and suggest it. Now for me, I'm going to go ahead and change this over to K drive, which is just a special drive I've set up for the making of this VTM. So go ahead and tell it OK. And now everything's ready to go, so I'll go ahead and tell it next. And we'll hit install, and away it goes. Now it's actually installing the software. It's installing the services. It's going to get things going, and it's just going to take a minute. So, Adam, so far, what do you think? Has it been overly difficult?
Oh, no. It's actually kind of registered with me, so we're doing good.
Here we go. A bunch of little windows popping up, more popping up. Okay, server's up, running, and we're done.
Wow.
That's it.
That's
That's it.
So now we have a
VTM's
web
over.
server.
Bye.
So we've just installed the Apache web server. We actually saw where we could go to on the internet to get it, retrieve it, turn around, install it. Now let's prove that it's running.
Awesome.
So I'll go ahead and hit finish. Okay, so now we don't have to reboot or anything. I'll go ahead and open up the Internet Explorer again. And what I'm going to do is come in here, and I'm going to go to, there's two different ways I can do this. I can go to http://localhost, which is what, we just gave it a second ago.